Alrighty, hello everybody, and thank you for taking time to join our webinar today. We know everyone's kind of busy as things are slowly returning back to the new normal, whatever that may mean for you. But we sincerely thank you all for making it out. So for today's topic, we will be focusing on IT consultants and how they are being used to propel business growth. And whether you're thinking about utilizing IT solutions or thinking about other means of utilizing consultants, we hope some of these points will help you in your decision-making process in the near future. So before we begin, we just wanted to take a quick moment to introduce ourselves. We are with Cinter Technology, which is an IT solutions company. And my name is Daniel Kang, and I am a systems engineer located in our LA office. And I'm joined today by my colleague, Slayton Meyer, who is also a systems engineer in Houston. And here at Cinter Technology, we've been providing IT solutions to businesses both large and small since 2013. And here on the left of the screen, you can see just some of the areas of expertise that we can assist for your company. And we have experience assisting companies in healthcare, Fortune 500 finance, education, manufacturing, logistics, just to name a few. And we also have offices across the United States, which enables us to provide services nationwide. And we do offer some international market services as well. And we are also a growing company. So we're really proud of all the achievements we've done and look forward to our continued growth in the future. All right, and here are the key points that we'll be going over today. The main takeaway really would be, what are IT consultants and how and why are they being used by companies? So why would we choose IT consultants over, let's say, hiring an internal employee? The short takeaway answer of what the definition of an IT consultant is really an external staff hired to help your business. The reason why a lot of businesses take this approach instead of hiring an internal team is because it helps them save time, it helps them save money, and it helps them with their growth. And we'll go into the details of that in the slides to come. All right, and if we take a quick look at this slide, you'll see a lot of brands that you may recognize. And they are indeed some of the largest organizations in the world. And even these companies and organizations utilize IT solutions and IT consultants to help their businesses. So, a company like, let's say, Amazon, who, may have, lots more funding than our businesses may have, if they're using IT consultants and IT solutions companies, they may know something that a lot of smaller businesses might not, right? Or medium-sized businesses might not know. And really, again, those key points, right? To save time, money, and to help businesses grow. I think that is something that they've utilized for the past 10, sometimes even like 30 years, utilizing consultants. And so the growing trend is now that small businesses and medium-sized businesses are realizing that. And you're seeing the shift where a lot of these smaller and medium-sized companies are also jumping in and utilizing IT solutions companies for their growth as well. All right, so let's talk about the solutions. We understand that not all businesses are going to be the same. We all have different needs, and we don't have endless budgets like some of those larger corporations out there, right? And we may have different goals in the end. So us being consultants ourselves, we'd love to work with each and every one of your companies, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the best way to go for your particular instance. But even in the most lean budgets, we have found that in our experience that there is always still a case to be made for hiring a consultant or an IT solutions company to help meet certain goals for your company. So let's look at just a very generic example situation. So if a smaller company is looking to hire an IT engineer to grow with the company during its initial growth stage, we think it's very beneficial for your company to have someone in-house who will grow with the company, who will know really the ins and outs and all the structures and the processes and all that. It would be very beneficial. But even in this situation, if that company is on a very, very lean and planned budget for, let's say, 5 years out, and they really need to focus their budget on, other means for the business, and that's when we think the getting IT consultants would come into play, because not only will they save money and time, but they'll be able to get those mission critical projects deployed right away, utilizing consultants. And again, we'll go over the more detailed and the numbers behind it as well. But that's just one situation that we can use for an example. We'll move on to how you can actually utilize consultants for increased efficiency. And for that, I will pass it over to my colleague, Slayton.
Great, thanks, Daniel. So we'll just jump in. Like Daniel mentioned earlier, really no matter the company or experience level, there's a few facts that we can't avoid, especially when hiring. That is going to be that it takes time and money. It's a given. But there are also plenty of other factors that go into this hiring process that I'll touch on more in just a moment in a couple of slides here. But currently, hiring just one staff member that fits the business need can take weeks or even months. Sorting through all the candidates, pulling resources off other projects, it really can put you in a bind sometimes. You have to make the decision. Do I want to put money towards furthering this project, future-proofing, cybersecurity, whatever options may be on the table, or do I want to pull resources from those projects and put them towards finding a good recruiter, a headhunter, or if you're recruiting in-house, do I want to put efforts towards that to find someone that really fits with what our business needs? So if you scale that up, now you need 3 or 4 different people depending on your project size. That can really weaken a business. Pulling resources can really bring you your business to a halt in some cases. Because Cinter sends IT consultants to meet your needs, a lot of the time your focus can go right back to the business at hand and you run much more efficiently because our IT consultants can be used to cover multiple areas. We tailor make all of these contracts. We make sure not only that your business needs are met, but a lot of times working in the right environment is important. If you're straight edge, you're down to business every single day, 9 to 5, what have you, you can get someone from our office that is just like that. Or if you're a little more lax, you need more creative ideas, things like that, we can also tailor to that, help you out in several different ways. A lot of people kind of underestimate the power of that. So it's definitely something we can work with as well. And that will naturally help your business and your internal team focus on efficiency and growth. Another part of this reason is due to specialization. So your costs go up with specialization. A lot of times the business is very demanding, so you're going to be bringing in lots of workers that are specialized to one area that aren't as specialized or may not be as well versed in another, meaning you need 3 or 4 different people for one project. But with our consultants, we like to make sure that they're specialized in several different areas. And of course, we have staff on hand. We don't have to worry about the recruiting process, headhunting, things like that. So we can send someone out right away, which obviously cuts down on the time spent recruiting, looking for new employees. And another thing that we'll touch on later is some of the benefits that you get to skip over as far as paying. Extra money comes out of your budget that can be pulled off of resources. But back to the topic at hand, specialization. We send consultants that cover whatever you need when you need them. So they'll be out there specifically for whatever project you have. Let's say your company is going to do a big migration to the cloud. Maybe you want users on virtual desktops. Of course, in this environment lately, over the past year or so with the pandemic, that has definitely been a big topic. But at the same time, you have to help users with their issues. You want to work on cybersecurity. That's a huge issue. We actually have another topic, another webinar for this topic, and it's something that is so important to us. But especially with everything going on right now, you want to make sure that these projects are taken on all at once. That can mean several different employees are needed. Again, we have those people on hand. We'll send them out quicker than you would be able to probably get a full-time employee brought in with the time spent on that. In our opinion, the most efficient way to deploy all of these projects, your cloud migration, your virtual desktops, help desk, making sure your employees that are working there are always working at maximum efficiency. If there's an issue with software, hardware, things like that, all of those things combined, it's much more difficult to have just your IT team take care of that when they also are looking at future proofing and expansion. So that's something that you can definitely take advantage of when using a consultant. And we have plenty of examples here at Cinter where we do just that. We work with somebody, they've contracted to us, we go in, we work on these big migration projects, and after we're done with migration, the full-time IT team that you have is able to work on those future proofing and expansion projects. We finish up with our development, we make sure that everything's documented, we can walk you through it, and then we'll push it over to your main internal IT team, and they're able to just do maintenance. Whatever system we put in place, maybe let's say we've moved you to using one of Amazon's AWS servers to host your network. We've done all the deployments, we've got all the equipment set up. Now we've just taught your IT team, or in plenty of cases, the IT team already understands how to work it, but we've set everything up, and now all they have to do is maintain. It definitely eases a lot of stress and tension off of your team. It makes things a lot more easy for your company to just hit the ground running. And one thing along with that we're very proud of is our international push. So we have speakers in our profession right now in our company that speak Spanish, Korean, Japanese, Russian, of course English. We have this webinar in English. We do have some other webinars in other languages. So it's been a major help to some businesses who were maybe on the fence or just entering an international market. This can be another great tool for you to utilize. Just wanted to hit on that really quick. But for the next slide, I'm going to give you some real numbers instead of just listening to me talk. You can look here and see, maybe at first glance, of course, the $75 is higher than $50. That may mean you're obviously going to go with a full-time employee. Being the smart people you are, you also understand the benefits that come with being a full-time employee. You've got bonuses, you've got guaranteed wages through holidays, time off, plenty of things that go along with it. Of course, your overhead, your office supplies, taxes especially, you're paying your payroll tax. A lot of that is taken on by a consulting company, which eases, again, your budget. A lot of the things we do are making sure to take the stress off of your company, put them on us. We eat the cost. We do all this stuff before your company is even in the picture, so that when your company does come along, it's so much simpler for you to get started. So again, $75 an hour may sound like a lot compared to your $50 an hour full-time employee, but with all the benefits rolled in, it actually comes out to more of, as you see there, your real hourly cost, $90. That's just, maybe you need some new office supplies. We've got to set them up with a new station at your physical location. So it'll increase the rate a little bit, but your full-time employee has now had the rate doubled because of those benefits, the things that may not just go right into their direct hourly rate. So obviously that will cost you a little bit more, especially for the smaller contracts or shorter contracts, I should say. These are always big projects usually for these businesses, but being shorter contracts, 3 months we can roll out a cloud system for a couple hundred users. That is a large project taken on and completed in a small amount of time, which is something you can't really pull a full-time employee on for and then let them go after. In some cases, it's just unethical, but in some cases, some states and some nations, it is illegal to do that, especially without letting them know. And you'd be hard-pressed to find a full-time employee that knows that after 3 months, they're going to be given the boot. That's where consultants come in. We come in, you roll us on, we take on the project, finish everything, teach your guys and gals how to finish or maintain the project. We leave, you roll us off, and you're still in business. Just some of the fantastic things that we can do as consultants for you on contracts like that. And like I said, this graph just kind of proves that. So making sure you've got specialization, you're avoiding those hiccups and delays, you're not cutting into your budget. Just really fantastic for everyone all around. And that, of course, frees you up for more time focused on your goals. So on the next slide, you've kind of answered all of the questions of who do I need, where do I deploy them, when do I deploy them, how long is the contract. Those things while they are difficult, have now all been answered. So what do you do now? Well, now that you know kind of how all of these industries are advancing using this technology, consultants and making sure that when business scales up, you scale up. So when the demand comes in and it's at an all-time high, you can bring in consultants without worrying about headhunting, recruiting, more benefits, more eating your budget. You can roll back when business rolls back. When this pandemic hit, of course, there were so many businesses that struggle and so many more businesses that didn't survive. And that is because scaling back was so much more difficult. The consultants are now prepped and ready to go. If you have to scale back, like I said earlier, you roll us off. We've got other projects we can work on and plenty of hardworking folks just like yourself that we can go to and help. And that's what we're here for. We're here to help everybody. So this is something you can focus on. You've got your own goals. You've increased your efficiency. You saved your time. And of course, you saved your money. Now your IT staff can focus on internal tasks. You can work on new projects, future proofing, follow-ups even. A lot of times this stuff, the new technology, you've implemented one software, you're looking at another, and now the one you have just implemented needs an update. It's got a new patch. It's something that always happens in IT. We're always on the lookout for it, but you've always got to follow up with that. So that means you've really got to make sure your IT team is ready, and when they're overwhelmed, it's hard to say that they're ready. We want to make sure your IT guys are in there in those important meetings, making sure your infrastructure can handle whatever you're planning. So that's one thing we always push for. Consultants can help with that. We're working on the small menial help desk tasks. Your IT guys that you've known for 10, 15 years, they're in the room talking with the big meetings, the mergers, and they're helping your business stay alive and prepare for the future. That's what we're really here to do for you. So having consultants can really free your business up to do more of that. Of course, having more free time means you can move a lot more. And with movement, as you'll see on this next page, with movement going on, projects being deployed, again, scaling up and scaling back, really depending on what environment you're in. These things happen internally, externally. Consultants can show up and allow the business to start focusing on and meeting those goals, which means your business can kind of get a jump start, make a new shift, and keep moving. A lot of people would call that growth, and for that, I will hand it back to Daniel.
Hey, thanks, Slayton. Yeah, so again, going the consultant route, it really can help businesses grow with all those things that you save on, right? And with that movement, that growth just comes naturally a lot of times. And what's important when looking for the right consultants and the right IT solutions companies is to find people or a group that shares your company's vision, that shares your company's goals, and together, when you succeed, you can share the victories together. And that's one thing that I have been so privileged in my role as a consultant to see when we're deploying these virtualized desktops for users, and everything just goes right, and everyone is able to work from home. And that's just so great to see. We celebrate all together, even with your internal IT department, for a job well done. And really, that adds just so much more to the growth of the company when everyone is functioning as one team. And that is something that is important that you should be looking for when looking for IT consultants. And of course, progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. And that's a quote by George Bernard Shaw. And progress, innovation, improvements to your goods and services, all these things will help your company grow, right? And it's not just a one-shot deal. It's a continual process, right? It's progress. And we think that, and we're very privileged in that a lot of the clients that we've built relationships with, we continue that relationship today, and we are still working with a lot of our clients. And it's important to know that just because you've virtualized your desktop, right, your job's not done. You need that internal IT team to help support and maintain. And like Satan has mentioned time and time again, you should be thinking about the future steps of your company. Have your internal IT teams there. And again, you're going to have to deploy something else. You might have to migrate to a new server because your company has grown. And there's a lot of that movement and progress going on. And again, that's when you can utilize consultants again to deploy that migration or whatnot. And it's just that constant progress. And that's why I think it's very important to find and build relationships with IT solutions companies and IT consultants to continue with that progress for your company. All right, and we hope that you were able to take away some key points, some pointers that you can use for your business to help you decide on whether you want to utilize IT solutions companies or just hire one consultant or even hire an internal employee. But if you have any questions, we'd love to help. Please reach out. We have our contact information right here with 3 methods that you can reach us. And if you have any specific questions, please feel free to shoot us an email and ask, and we'll be able to answer that question for you right away as well. We do have future webinars planned, and we have previous webinars that you might be able to check out as well. So please, if you have questions for those, shoot us an email and say, hey, I'd like to know about virtualization or whatnot, or like remote work, how to set that up for my employees. Again, we might have some information we can share with you. So please just feel free to ask.
And from Daniel and myself both, I really appreciate all your time. I know 20 minutes out of your day can mean the difference in getting a contract and not, something similar. So we appreciate it. And thank you all for coming.